According to the CDC, the U.S. now leads the globe in reported cases of monkeypox, with more than 3,800 cases nationwide. This as the World Health Organization declared the outbreak a global health emergency over the weekend.
And here to discuss more is internist at Northwell Health, Dr. Frank Contessessa. Good morning, Dr. Frank.
Good morning. How you guys doing today?
Fantastic. Okay, let's start with this. Now, there is a possible shift in the way we initially thought that the virus was spread. Now, currently, there are cases of children who have been reported to have the virus. We're now hearing it could be transmitted through close contact for extended periods of time. But CDC Director Rochelle Walensky did clarify that both of the infants that were diagnosed with monkeypox, they actually did come from families with men from the LGBTQ community. One of the infants was from a family that were traveling from outside the United States. Is there an update on the way that this virus is transmitted?
Sure. So it's a little bit, I wouldn't say controversial, but it's sort of up in the air right now. Is this a sexually transmitted disease, meaning transferred through the bodily fluids of sexual encounter, or is it just from close contact? It still looks like it's close contact. So certainly that certainly occurs during sexual contact. And right now, 98 to 99% of all reported cases are in men who have sex with men. So it doesn't seem like it's a true sexually transmitted disease. It's really just this close contact.
Dr. Contessessa, I don't mean to interrupt you. I heard that, and Dr. Fauci said the same thing, this men who have sex with men. Is there a reason we can't say gay men? Is that...
Well, there's no reason I can't say it. I have no problem with that.
I just think it's confusing, and I heard Dr. Fauci say this yesterday. It's heavily weighted to men who have sex with men, and I'm thinking, I had to think about it more than I should. This is right now, it seems like it's something that is becoming a real problem in the gay community. Is that safe to say?
That's entirely true. This is almost exclusively in the gay community. This particular outbreak seems to be linked to a series of festivals and gatherings that happened in the spring. The incubation on this is about a week, but it can be as long as 3 weeks. So there were some June meetings and festivals that went on, and this current outbreak seems to be linked to that. That seems to be one of the spreaders.
Okay, because that's really, really, really important when we talk about global health emergencies like COVID-19. COVID-19 did not discriminate. Right now, based on the information, it looks like this virus might discriminate a little bit. That makes a huge difference for the greater percentage of the population. And I'm listening to doctors talk about this, and I'm like, what are we doing? We got to be aware of who this targets and try to do that, because the administration, the Biden administration right now, is weighing whether or not to declare this a health emergency. Despite the WHO's position, the Biden administration says they need $7 billion to mount a response to this outbreak. Is that the proper response?
Well, I think it's also worth noting, Rob, you mentioned the WHO's declaration that this is a worldwide health emergency. You know, Dr. Tedros, the head of the WHO, overruled his advisory committee. They were undecided on whether to call this an emergency or not. And Dr. Tedros single-handedly overruled his panel to say, yes, this is an emergency. I don't think it's quite to the emergency level yet. Yes, cases are rising, but we're still talking about a few thousand cases in a country of over 300 million people. And if you compare that to the numbers of, say, something like COVID, it's a fraction of a percent. And you're right, it is in a very limited community right now. So is this a cause for people to be a little bit aware of what's going on? Sure. Is this a reason for panic and the global headlines? I'd say probably not.
Well, to expand on that a little bit, the eligibility to receive a vaccine, they do have a monkeypox vaccine. The NYC Department of Health, the vaccine eligibility is centered completely around being a man, obviously in the gay community. People are calling for that to be expanded and for other people to be eligible. Do you even see a need for that, for the vaccine to be expanded in eligibilities as of right now?
I don't see a need. I don't see a need for that. And let's remember, there have been 0 deaths from monkeypox in this current outbreak.
Yeah, good point.
It does have a very low mortality rate in Africa. So when you look at this in the endemic countries in Africa, it's someplace between 1% and 10%, depending on the strain of monkeypox that you're talking about. But in the current outbreak that's been happening in Europe and here in America, there have been 0 deaths. Everybody kind of gets better. The worst that can happen is that the lesions are very painful. And the people who do get admitted to the hospital for this, it's for intractable pain. And they get admitted for pain management of the lesions on the skin, and then they get better. So no, I don't think we need to expand that.
All right, Dr. Frank, thank you. We'll keep a close eye on it. Good to see you.
Thank you, guys.